What's up, everybody? Unrested back, and thank you so much for all your congrats on the 10,000 subs video. And as I promised, this will be a personal response video to personal questions. My son's in the background right now, and he's a little fussy, so if you happen to hear him, just try to ignore that. A little bit of my personal life you get to hear. How about that? Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. There was quite a few. I only gave people about 48 hours to write questions, and they poured in quite quickly. So I'm just gonna answer them. I will tell you. What's up, bud? I will tell you that I've actually edited them so that it's just the question and not kind of like the background stuff people had written. So if your question's been paraphrased or edited, I apologize. Had to be done to make sure I answer everybody's question within 10 minutes. And let's get started. Okay, number one, I was wondering, are you from Orlando, Florida? No, I've lived in Orlando, Florida. I've lived in Jacksonville, Florida, Tallahassee, Florida, Boynton Beach, Florida, and Sarasota, Florida. So those are all the places I've lived in Florida. A lot of people ask me a lot of questions about Florida. If you leave Japan, what are the 5 things you would miss the most that you can't buy anywhere else? I would miss a lot of the action figures here that are completely Japanese, that you'd be very hard-pressed to find in another country. I would miss some of the different treats that I eat here. One of them is this one right here, the Hitokuchi Karintou. It's kind of like a caramel stick. I don't know how else to describe it. Here, that's a picture of it. It's a really delicious snack, so I'd miss some snacks. I would miss my Japanese friends, of course. I would miss teaching English as a second language because it's really quite fun. And I would probably miss all the art and interior decorating and graphic design in Japan because, in my opinion, it's on another level. Did you encounter any racism or bigotry towards yourself or your wife when planning to get married? No, not really, not at all. Her family was pretty open-minded. I'm not saying that goes for every family in Japan marrying a gaijin, but luckily for me, my wife's family was very open-minded. Am I planning on teaching English in Japan for the rest of my life? Please, God, no. I really hope I am not. I want to, at least at one point, pursue my own things, as I've said in past JFAQs. Is there a story about your pinky? For those of you who've never noticed, that's my pinky. You see how it bends? Well, it always stays bent like that. The tendon right here is too tight, and so it just always stays bent. It's a hereditary thing. My mother has the same problem with her hand. The doctor said I could get it cut and straightened out, but it really wouldn't change anything. You don't really use it to write. Who cares? So personally, I've never done anything about it. It doesn't really bother me. Where are some places that you really want to visit but have not had a chance to go? I want to go to Hiroshima. I've never been there yet. Obviously, there's quite a bit of historical stuff to see there. What are your favorite foods to eat in Japan? Tamago gaki gohan. I like takoyaki because I'm in Osaka. I like yakisoba. And I like probably maguro sushi is my favorite sushi. Given that you live in Japan, but tattoos are a personal thing, do you wish you could get rid of your tattoos to have a little more freedom in terms of what you can wear? Not really, no. Tattoos actually have a presence of being more beautiful when hidden. Anyone who's looked into Bushido stories or old Yakuza stories will start to understand that the beauty of tattoos is hidden beauty. So there is beauty behind that. And they also are a personal thing. I would have never gotten them if I didn't want them and knew I was going to live with them forever when I got them. It wasn't considered temporary, and it never will be. Any meanings behind your tattoos? No real big meanings. They're all zombies. Everything on my arm is zombies. Most of the zombies are actually pictures of my friends made into zombies. So I guess that's kind of a meaning. Do you play video games, and if you do, what are your favorite games? I do play video games, not probably as hardcore as most people. My all-time favorite game is probably Heavy Rain. I really like a good drama, a good story game. I like to be able to play through a story and very developed characters. I don't like FPS, I don't like RTS. I don't like a lot of online games. I like well-written story games that have really in-depth characters. I used to like survival horror a lot, but I really don't like the new Biohazard or Resident Evil, as we say in America. Not a big fan of those anymore. I still like the old Silent Hills, but after Silent Hill moved to America, I don't really like those too much anymore because, quite honestly, they weren't scary. They were just kind of another FPS. While you were studying in college, did you want to go on an exchange to Japan for a semester or two to get a taste of living there? I never had any idea I wanted to go to Japan when I was in college. It never even crossed my mind. Nothing in my future. I thought I was going to either be a graphic design person in America or a teacher in America. That didn't happen until 2 years into my teaching in America. Hey Scott, did you do in your free time, I think they're trying to say, what did you do in your free time when you were back at home? Same things I do here, draw a lot. Do you think you'll encourage your children to do art since you're an artist yourself? Yes, I will. I've actually even registered Unrested Junior channel, so maybe if my son's into this, he'll do it too. The picture in the beginning is a video of fan art, right? Yes, it is. Do you have a lot of people who send you fan art? I don't really get a lot of people who do that, but this one in the last video was Poizu, if I've said that correct. Sorry if I didn't, for the person who drew that for me. That's P-O-I-I-Z-U. He drew that picture for me, sent it to me, and I will use any pictures that you guys draw for me. I love that stuff. That's awesome. It's really flattering. Here's a fun question. How did you see yourself in high school? I would say nerdy, introverted. Were you quiet, popular, or stuff like that? I was varsity cross country. I was in art club. My hobbies were Dungeons and Dragons. I was a pretty nerdy guy. I was pretty introverted, but I had a few girlfriends, so I guess I wasn't totally nerdy. I don't know. I never really saw myself as Mr. Cool, that's for sure. How many sports jerseys do you have? I think about 13 or 14. And are they stuff you got in the States or did you import them to Japan? I actually bought them used here in Japan for quite cheap because those sizes are size large and it's really way too big for most Japanese people. What are the top 10 things you miss from America? Top 10? Well, you okay over there, dog? Okay, he just dropped his piano. The top 10 things I miss food. I guess I could list like 5 foods that I miss, like cereal, American ice cream, American candy bars, all the junk food in America. I miss having my own car. I miss a lot of the music. I miss concerts in America, how cheap they were, how cheap movies were to see. I miss the availability of books, but I guess not so much now that I've got a Kindle. That's not 10, but it's a few things I miss from America. Has your life goal always been to live in Japan? No, it has not. If not, what was it before that? Like I said, probably, I think my all-time goal was I wanted to be a comic book drawer, but that never worked out. What university did you go to? Florida State University. How old were you when you moved to Japan? 27. How did you meet your wife? Why did you and your family decide to come to live in Japan instead of USA? Well, I met my wife in Japan, and from day one, she never really had much of an interest in living in America. She had lived in America before, and she likes America very much, but her job is a license that does not transfer to America, so there's not many opportunities for her. How many more kids do you want? Maybe only one more, if it's a girl. That would be nice. I'd like to have 2 boys and a girl. Hey Scott, congrats on the subs. Also, happy Father's Day. Do you subscribe to any form of religion? No. How appealing are the ideals of Shintoism and Buddhism to you? I think they're really good. Honestly, if I were to convert to any religion, it would probably be Buddhism with the Shintoist gods. Would you say Japan's beautiful landscape, invokes a higher sense of spirituality as opposed to America's landscape? Not so much. It's really mostly urban sprawl unless you really get into the deep country. Oh yeah, where in Florida are you from? Well, I've listed a bunch of places where I was from. When are you coming back to America? And is your wife open-minded about the idea? I'm never moving back to America. My wife is open-minded to that idea, but we're both not interested in moving back to America. Would you ever come to your state hometown? Okay, I think they're trying to say, would you ever come to your hometown? My hometown is actually Pennsylvania. I would visit there, yes. Okay, so I got cut off because my battery ran out, but I'm going to continue to answer these. I think you got to see my son in the background. He made a little guest appearance. I know I said I'd never show pictures of him, but he decided he would show himself when running to my wife in the living room. So anyway, continuing. Would you ever come back to your hometown? And what is your hometown? My hometown is actually Pennsylvania. I was born in Pennsylvania. Would I ever come back there? I mean, maybe to visit, but I would never come back there to live or anything. What kind of places did you hang out when you first started off in Japan? Probably the same places a lot of first-time newcomers to Osaka hang out. Dotonbori, Shinsaibashi, Amemura. I went to Nara, I went to Himeji, different places like that. Are you thinking about getting any new tattoos? Yes, I would love to get tons of tattoos, but they're expensive, and I don't really have a budget for them. So unfortunately, yes, I would like to. Will I? Only the fortune of the future will tell. Let's see, continuing down. Hold on, I've got to scroll down a little bit. What does your wife think of the videos? She likes my videos. She likes that it's my hobby, and she supports me, but as I've said in the past, she's pretty big about not letting herself be on them or letting my son be on them, so that's probably why you never see them. It's my hobby, not their hobby. Being in Japan for 5 years and married to a Japanese person, how much of the culture has influenced? Do you feel more Japanese? I'd say the culture definitely influenced me quite a bit. The longer you live here, the more you will start to understand how to become more part of the culture. I don't mean necessarily like lose yourself and become assimilated, but learn like the wa and the harmony of Japanese work life and just personal life and stuff like that. I've gotten to take on more of that over time, and I would say it's made me calmer. I don't react as quickly to stuff, and I probably have a lot more patience. What did your parents think of you moving to Japan and marrying a Japanese person? Well, it didn't all happen at once. First, I moved to Japan. At first, they were a little bit scared about that because I'd never lived in another country before. I'll block my son out here. What are you doing? So that's what I did. I moved here, and my parents were a little bit upset at first just because they were kind of scared of me living in another country. After they saw that I got a good job, I made a career, and I'm married a nice lady, they were actually really quite happy. They were definitely super happy when I got married, and even more happy when I had a kid, so I have no complaints. What are your favorite bands at the moment? Okay, and this is the last question, good. What are your favorite bands at the moment? I like Kiari Pamu Pamu, Ikimono Gakari, Maximum the Hormone. I like, for American stuff, I like Born of Osiris, Emir, and I don't know, what else do I listen to? I listen to a lot of like ambient stuff too, like Explosions in the Sky, If, The Album Leaf, when I'm just trying to chill out. So I guess that's the kind of stuff I listen to these days. That's about it. That covers everything. I don't know how much you got to see of my son. I'll check the video after, but I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got to see a little bit of my guy, and I hope I answered everybody's questions thoroughly. I know some I didn't answer, but they were about Japan and not about me. The only time I didn't want to answer questions about that. Until next time, I'm Unrested. I'll see you later.